To this point, we had a few different cars on the dyno for tuning. We did have our calibration or virtual meeting with Mainline to make sure the dyno's all set up and good to go, which it was. But it was time to put the GR Corolla onto the dyno. Not for the reasons you might be thinking.
You know how you feel it. You know how you feel it.
So everyone has heard of different dyno brands reading different numbers, whether it's a Dyno Jet, a Mustang dyno, or various other companies. Everyone has a dyno that either reads really high or low or whichever. Well, for our dyno here, the Mainline Prohub, we weren't sure how it was gonna read. Initially, we thought it was gonna read a little bit lower than normal, but the only way to really get like a baseline is have a comparison from a car from our dyno to another dyno. The car that has been on the dyno the most recent was actually the GR Corolla when we went up to the shop CT and tuned on the shop CT's Dyno Jet with Mikey body. So when my car was up there, it made 301 horsepower and 306 or 8 torque, something like that. What we figured we would do is pull it on, let Kevin do some rips and see how far off our dyno is reading from those numbers.
Seeing what this makes. This is tuned by Mike Body currently, IQ Tech. There's a front mount, intake, a cat bag. And what's going on Dyno Jet? We're just testing numbers right now. It's about, I think it's about 60 degrees in here right now. So it's relatively cold. Just letting it warm up to cool temp. And we'll make a hit. I'll make a couple hits actually, just to see with heat soak and everything, see what it does.
So the first pull, when Kevin got the car all set up on the dyno, we actually hit, I think it was 315 or 317, one of those numbers for horsepower. And initially I asked him if he set the final drive ratio right on the dyno. So with our dyno, you have to enter in what the final drive is in the car because it read more. Now we were really expecting the dyno to read a little lower than like a typical chassis or roller dyno. I was kind of caught a little off guard. Obviously Kevin being a pro, why did I even second guess him? It was entered correctly. I was just surprised the number was so high. And the whole time he was like, no dude, it's like, it made 315 on this, which was pretty cool. Now, obviously I don't think that my car is just magically making more power on this dyno, but it was just a surprise. So I think what we can attribute that first pull off is like the car was in like 30-degree weather. We pulled it in, we let the oil warm up, but all the engine components were still nice and cool. So maybe just a little more charged air, I don't know. So we did 2 more power pulls just to kind of see where we were at on average. And like I said, that first one, there wasn't any heat soak or anything. The second pull came in at 305 horsepower, and then the third pull came in at 306. So those last 2 pulls I really see as more of an accurate baseline for where the car was at on our dyno. And the benefit of that is we know that it reads very similar to a Dyno Jet, or at least the shop CTs. So at this point, if customers come in and they want to know what their numbers on our dyno look at compared to somebody else's, they know that they're fairly accurate to a Dyno Jet. Now, I know that all a dyno is a tuning tool. It's just supposed to get a baseline for how the car is running. The tuner then uses that to adjust timing, boost, fuel in order to increase the power. And it's all just about the increase that you get, and you see that on the dyno graph. But let's all be honest, dyno number comparisons are kind of a fun thing to do, especially with your friends when you're trying to bust their balls. So it's good to know that our dyno reads very similar to other dynos. And if you come in here, you don't have to worry about any corrections or math to try to figure out what you make on a different dyno. It's fairly accurate to a Dyno Jet, so good stuff. So if you guys want to see what your car makes on our dyno, you can either have somebody tune it, you can rent the dyno out for some power pulls to see what your car makes, or if you have a tuner that wants to come into town and use our dyno, we can rent that out to them as well. All you have to do is hit the link in the description or give the shop an email or call. We'd love to help you out. Till then, let's make some power.